Hi. All right, let's get started here. My name is Alyssa. I am going to hopefully get us together today to connect with ourselves and we'll connect with each other. This is a workshop about really connecting with our inner power. And I totally understand that those words might not mean anything. We're given a ton of words all the time: inner power, self love, connection, oneness. And it's, it's really hard to just understand those at face value, right? It takes time to really understand what those things mean. So I don't expect you to already know. And my only ask is that you stay open, and if you leave here and you're not interested, cool. It's just like trying anything, like skiing or biking, hiking, whatever. Just try a new experience today, and I ask that you stay open with me, and from there we'll just we don't need to know right now, right? Let's just enjoy ourselves and have fun with it. And I promise to be tread carefully, right? I promise not to go too far or too fast, or but keep it exciting enough that we're not all bored. So, um, like I said, this is about connecting to our inner power. So for me, that's really connected with spirit. And spirit means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and people can connect with their spirit in all sorts of ways. So we'll start with how people connect with their spirit. Some people connect through spirit through meditating and maybe religion, praying, a higher power. Maybe it's God. Some people connect to spirit through nature. Some people connect through physical exercise. Maybe you like to run. Um, you like to, make your body strong. Some people connect through art. So, physical art, painting, creating. It could be singing. All sorts of ways to use our body and create, right? Um, Honestly, almost anything could be connecting to spirit. People connect to spirit in all sorts of different ways. Even like activism, having the courage to fight for the things you believe in is in a way connecting to your soul and your spirit, right? It's what you're passionate about. So that's what it is. It's passion, right? And or it can be passion. For some people it's more peaceful. It's all sorts of things. So let's just try to stay open to what that is, and how you do it. And the second part I'll say to that is we all do it in all sorts of ways, right? We might not even be aware that when we work out, we are having a spiritual experience, or maybe we have a job that we're passionate about, and when we do that job, time flies by, and we don't even think twice. We're just immersed in what we're doing. That's spiritual. So in our culture, though, that's not always acknowledged, right? And so here we have this thing that feels spiritual, but maybe we're not acknowledging it. Maybe we're not taking the time to step into it and really live it and breathe it and be aware and conscious of how much of a spiritual experience it is. Maybe you are. Maybe you set time aside and you pray, or you journal and meditate. Whatever it be, though, today we're going to take a little bit more time to really acknowledge the things that feel good in our body, and we're going to take time to connect to that inner wisdom. That inner wisdom is inner power. And the more we connect to that, the stronger it becomes and the more fulfilling our life is. So, inner power, spirituality, those are kind of themes that we're really going to entertain today. But the next thing I really want to take time to talk about before we get started is the wisdom of our body. So I think a lot of us have probably heard about how our body and our mind and our spirit is all connected. Well, it's true. I believe it's true. But similar to what I said in the beginning, you hear these phrases and sometimes they don't have a ton of meaning. Sometimes it's just something you keep hearing, right? That your body has all this wisdom, and what does that mean? Until we really experience something, it's kind of meaningless, or it can be. Maybe you believe it logically, but do you, in your heart of hearts, believe it? Maybe you do. If you do, you're one step ahead, and we'll get to a point where you're learning something today. But let's just all get to the same spot first, right? Um, so let's regroup. Um, I need to I need to regroup. Um, our body's wisdom. You might have a story. You might have a past trauma. It could be big T, little t. Those are some things in the, you might have heard those before, right? But truly, you might have some really hard things of your past. They could be current, they could be from your past, but they are part of your current story too, because they're still part of you, right? It's not that easy to shake everything off. And we never will. Maybe we never will, at least parts of it. So we have these stories. We're going to call it a narrative, not because it didn't happen or not because it's not true, but you have a version of it just by nature of being a human. You have your experience, and then you have this story that your brain and mind has made from the experience. So by nature, that is a narrative. It doesn't mean it's not true. It just means that's your personal story. And that there's power to that. So let's not get weirded out by the narrative thing. But it is a narrative and it's a story. It's your personal story. And that is what our mind has created based on our experiences. And it's what we know. And everyone has their different stories. We all do. We have it about our entire life. We have it about our personality, and we have it about where we come from and where we're going and what's limiting us. And we have a story about everything. We have a story about every person in our life. And then they have a story about you, and they have a story about their whole life. So everyone has this inner world, and they've made stories about it. And so let's go back to our body, right? So where this is going to tie together is our body already knows those stories. Sometimes we put so much power to our brain and the stories and the narratives. But today we're going to peel back. We're going to try to leave those stories over here. It doesn't mean you need to get rid of them. Don't worry. I would never ask you to do that. We're just going to set them right here. Today, we're going to go to our bodies. Our bodies, they know the stories, they know the experiences. And our bodies, some would argue, are even wiser than our brain. They know the intricacies of the ins and the outs of the ins and the outs of what makes us so complicated and unique and beautiful and wounded. Our body knows that. So I don't want you to be scared that you can't protect yourself, right? I think that's one of the things our stories do for us is they make us feel protected because we know our stories so we can defend ourselves. We can keep out the things that are going to attack us, right? The things that are going to make us hurt. So today we're going to just try something out. And remember when I asked you to stay open? Well, I'm going to ask you to stay open-minded to this, and to trust this process. Today, when we put our emotions aside, our stories, our narratives, we're going to come into our bodies kind of neutrally, okay? And together we're going to calm ourselves. We're going to just let ourselves be. And then we're going to feel into our bodies. We don't need to yet. Just hear me out. We're going to take a few minutes to just be. Whatever's on your mind, whatever's stressing you out, whatever is worrying you, whatever you need to do after this, that'll be here. Don't worry. Set that aside. When we do this, we're just going to be in our bodies. And I'm going to invite you into a few minutes of truly just listening to your body. And stories are going to come up, and I want you to just notice them. And I'll coach you through how to just be with yourself and let things pass. They're going to come. I mean, you don't need to be mad, but we're going to let them pass. And we're going to pay attention to our bodies. So this is a lot like meditation. This is a meditation. And then from there, we'll have some new material to talk about. So how's everyone feeling? Let's take a couple of deep breaths together and really ground in this moment together. I know I've done a lot of talking, and so I'm going to stop talking for a minute, and we are just going to be. And I want you to kind of touch base with your body. So for me, I like to close my eyes, and I want you to do whatever is comfortable to you. So everyone can sit up. Let your spine be straight. Take a deep breath, a comfortable deep breath. Where's your breath at? Is your breath up in your chest? Is it shallow? Is it up in your throat? Is it down in your belly? In your nose. We're going to breathe in your nose for 5 counts. And open your mouth and exhale longer than the inhale. And keep doing that in your nose. 5 counts. Out your mouth. 6, 7, 8. From the belly, we're going to inhale deep down where our belly button is. Up to your head. Exhale down to your toes. Inhale from your belly to your head. And exhale down to your belly and your toes. Imagine there's a string running up your body. Your inhale goes up to your head. Your exhale down to your toes. And we're just going to do that for a couple more minutes. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more big one. Up to your head. Down to your toes. Now, our bodies are a little calmer. Maybe they're a little quieter. I'm going to lead us in to the next part. You can keep your eyes closed. I want to keep us in this calm state of our body. Our bodies are calm. And I'm going to lead us in to this next part. You are safe, and your body has the wisdom. You are safe, and your body has the wisdom. Now, let's do something that helps us feel grounded. For me, I'm going to find a safe place on my body. Maybe that's on my hand on my heart. Maybe my hands are on my leg. Where in your body do you feel safe? What feels calm? You can put your focus there and you can let it expand. If nothing feels safe in your body, you're going to find something that you feel around you that feels safe. Maybe it's the ground underneath your feet, or the chair that you sit in that holds you. You put your focus there. You remember you have this safe place to come back to if you need it. If none of that is resonating, you can think of a person or a thing or an animal or a place that you feel safe. You think about that person or that animal, and you think about their care for you and the safety you have in that, and you're going to let it expand. Now, we have a safety in our body. Now we're going to take time to feel where we have maybe a knot, maybe it's a contraction. If you scan through your body, where might you find a knot that's tied to a hardship in your life? The story, the narrative we talked about, where does it live in your body? We're going to find that. Take your time. You're going to take notice of that spot. You can put your hand there, and we're going to give it a moment to breathe. How does it feel in your body? Does it feel tight? Does it feel knotted? How big does it feel? Does it have a shape, a color? What texture is it? We're going to get to know it. Now, if you haven't already, put the story aside. Set it over to the side. And let's just feel into the body as a sensation, the contraction. How does that feel? Let it expand and take up space. Just the sensation, just the contraction. You can be with it. The story's going to come up and you put it to the side. Resistance will come up. It can be here. It's allowed to be here. Feel into the sensation in your body. If you need to come back to your safe place, you can do so. Find your safety. And when you're ready, return to the contraction. Whatever is here is okay. The resistance is okay. You can be with it just this moment. You are safe to be with the contraction. At this point, it might be changing, it might be fading, or maybe it's amping up. You can take time to continue to be with it. There's no rush. If the contraction is subsiding, then your body has worked through it. If the contraction is heating up, it might mean you've been in your head too much, and that's okay. This is an onion. The peeling back of the layers takes time. And however this experience is going for you is okay. Our bodies are going to unpack these things in different ways, in the ways that we need. And so just take a couple of deep breaths and thank your body for connecting and being brave and courageous. And take a couple of deep breaths, big or small, quiet or loud. And start to feel your toes and your hands. And we can kind of come back to our bodies. Feel the sensations around us. You might feel calm. You might feel relieved. Whatever you feel is okay. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Take your time. Just take your time coming out of that. I'm going to continue to talk. I just want you to continue to let your body exist how it exists right now, though. You don't need to rush how you're feeling. If you feel calm, bask in the calmness. you feel awakened, feel the awakenedness. You can let yourself be as I speak, okay? So a lot of you might have noticed, and it's okay if you didn't, that our bodies already knew where the tension was. They were really quick to tell you, probably. It might have been in your chest, in your heart. Maybe it was in your throat. Maybe it was behind your eyes, your shoulders. Maybe it was in your pelvic area, your lower back. We can hold tension anywhere. And arguably, it might be the very place we have a chronic illness or injury. I've experienced that. There's not always a reason for why it is where it is. All of us are very unique. So that part doesn't matter. Maybe I named it and maybe I didn't. Trust where you felt it. So your body was quick to probably tell you where it was. And if you were able to drop the story, you likely felt a lot of sensations. And they might have been really uncomfortable. We're really trained in our culture to produce and to be and to, express ourselves certain ways. It's very rigid. And there's not a lot of time for our bodies to have tantrums, We don't have time for tantrums in our culture. It's fast paced, we're busy, we have a lot of responsibilities, we're trying to get a lot done. And to take time to hear from our body or experience the physical discomfort that's within it is so unnecessary, right? That's what we've been told. Maybe outright been told, or maybe in unconscious ways we've inherited this story. But most of us have been told to show up a certain way, to be a certain way, and there's not been a lot of time for anything that veers off from that. It's not productive. It's not appropriate, right? I mean, as a parent, a lot of us don't even have time for our 2-year-old's tantrums, unfortunately, right? We're in such a hurry. And that's not everyone. Some parents are very patient, and they're such a gift. But these are examples. So when we sat with our bodies, a lot of things might have come up. Physical stories might have come up. Sensations might have come up. And often they're very uncomfortable because they're the very things we've been pushing away. So I want to take a minute, and you can either close your eyes and think, or you can write down. If you want to grab your paper and pen, you can write down what you felt. Maybe it was palpitations, like in your heart, Maybe it was, like I said, contractions. Maybe just tears wanted to come up. Maybe they did come up. Maybe you wanted to laugh. Maybe just stories came up, maybe versions of this story, and they felt really sad or scary. Whatever came up, just write it down if that works for you, or think about it if that works better for you. And just take a minute and process that. So you can write down where you felt it, and how it felt, and maybe what it made you want to do. Did you want to run from it? Did you want to stop it? If it was a uncomfortable feeling, did it feel unsafe? So take a moment. Thank you for taking the time to do that. So we had that contraction come up, that feeling. Maybe it wasn't a contraction, whatever that came up for you, though. For me, sometimes it feels like a knot of rubber bands. You know, those rubber bands are the things that created our narrative. That's why we spend so much time in it. It's complicated, it's not basic stuff. The problem is, though, that we can't actually solve it in our brain the way we believe we can. So, up until this point, you've or I've been trying to solve this jigsaw puzzle with our mind. Rightly so. Our minds are brilliant, they're amazing. So, why wouldn't you be able to solve this pain or this struggle or this story with your head? It makes sense that you could. But that's not where the key is. The key is where we went when we stopped and we felt it in our bodies. Our bodies, remember, they knew the story. They knew it deeply. And that's why maybe there was a big sensation that came along with it. And when we gave it space, if we were able to give it space to be there, then it might have subsided. Did anyone experience that? A settling of it? I know for me, when I'm able to sit with it, it does subside. It integrates into your body. I didn't get rid of it. The deep pain, the fear, the struggle, whatever that was, I didn't get rid of it. We don't need to ban it. There's room for it to be here. In fact, when we let it be here, it actually lightened the load. It, like I said before, it integrated into our bodies, and we didn't have to spend all of this energy containing it. Instead, our bodies knew exactly where it wanted to be healed. It wanted to be seen, looked at, held with compassion. And so every day we're experiencing different sorts of contractions. They can be little or big. They can be in the car, in traffic. They can be with our kids or our partners, miscommunications with other people, or maybe things that are downright wrong and maybe they're happening to you. Again, I'm not trying to get rid of the story, but they come in our body as sensations: anger, sadness, frustration. And every time they do, well, our instinct has been to go up to our head, right? And we've just been shown what it can be like if we actually say, thank you, head. Thank you for your brilliant mind. I'm going to go into my body, though. And it doesn't take very much time. Science says it only takes 90 seconds for an emotion to be felt and integrated into your body, versus the past, how we might have used our mind to sort through it. It can take weeks or a lifetime of picking and choosing and unpacking it and defending. Whereas our body knows exactly how to go into it, and it neutralizes it. It frees us. So by being with the hardship, we're freeing ourselves from the hardship. So that was a lot to unpack. That was a ton of words, right? I would like us, with that in mind, and maybe with this heart-centered space that we may be in, I want us to write down where we see ourselves a year from now. Maybe it's 6 months. Maybe it's a tangible thing that you want. And maybe it's a feeling you want to feel, peace or calm, patience. Maybe it's what you want to achieve. Is it a job or a salary? Where do you see yourself? What do you want? So take a second and jot that down. Maybe there's one, maybe there's two. Go ahead and write them down. And you don't need to overthink it. It's usually the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't judge it either, you know. If it's the income you want to make, or the job you want to have, you knew when I first asked. So write that down. So let's unpack that now. Let's ground that into what it is you want. With most things in life, there's going to be the outer layer. It's maybe the thing or the experience or the feeling. And then sometimes there's a layer below it. And maybe you're already at this layer. Maybe you already said, I want freedom or peace, or maybe you already went to the deeper layer. But if you didn't, I want you to try to think of the thing behind your thing, okay? So if it's a career, maybe it's a career you actually really want. Maybe you're stuck in a career, and what you really want to do is something different. So maybe the deeper layer for you is creative power. You know, you don't want to be stuck in this corporate job that is not fulfilling. Maybe you want fulfillment. If it's money or a salary, maybe freedom is what you desire. Freedom to be in this life without worry and stress and survival. Maybe if it's a stressful thing that you want to get past, maybe you deeply desire peace, okay? So just jot what comes down. There's no wrong answer. And if you don't know, just jot down a couple, okay? Maybe a few things I just said resonated. Maybe I didn't mention it, but you had something else in your head. Just Trust what you put down. So now let's step back from that future self that you want to be, that you see yourself attaining, or you deeply desire attaining. Okay, let's step back from that. Where are we now in comparison to that goal, that dream, that vision? Where are you now? So if my goal is to have this dream job, where am I now in comparison to that? Maybe I'm in that corporate job that I talked about, and I'm making good money, and maybe I'm good at the job too, right? Like, I don't know. Where are you now, though? Is it stressful? If it was a salary you wanted and you want greater freedom in life, where are you now with your salary? If it's physical goals, maybe you want to lose weight or get stronger, or you want to run a marathon. Where are you now? What's your weight? How strong are you? What are you lifting when you do biceps? Anything. Just where are you now compared to this goal? Again, think freely. There's no wrong answers, and no one has to see this. This is private. So hopefully you've had enough time. We have this end. We have this end of this goal that is attainable, but maybe a far reach, right? Maybe it feels a little out of reach, and that's okay too. And then we have where we are. And maybe that's not that far from the goal, or maybe it's you haven't even started. If you want to run a marathon, maybe you haven't even gone on a run yet. It's okay. Here we are now. Here's where we're going. Now, we're going to make a third list. And this list is actually going to kind of live in the middle of those two. This list, jot it down, whatever you want to call it, is what needs to happen between where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going. So take some time and jot down what it looks like to get from here to there. What's in your way? If you're running a marathon, what do you need to do? This could include really, really tangible logistical things. Maybe if it's physical health that you want, maybe you need to start going to the chiropractor or a physical therapist. What needs to happen between now and where you're going? If it's a different career, it's going to require making moves. What are the moves? If there's moves and something's in your way, what's in the way? What are the barriers? You're clearly not there. What's in the way? Is it mental? Is it physical? Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's relationships. Do you have a person that you feel like is holding you back? And all of these things are just ideas, but I just want to get your mind flowing, right? What's in the way? Time, resources, and as you do this, I really want you to not feel stress. This is all just note taking, nothing to be scared of. If you feel your body getting anxious, then just take a deep breath back into your body. There's nothing to fear here. I'm going to give you just a little bit longer to write down any barriers between where you are and where you're going. What's in the way? Or what are the steps that you need to take? Okay. How is everyone feeling? It's a lot. We've done a lot. Okay? And all of you might be feeling differently right now. Some of you might feel empowered. Some of you might have just made that barrier list and you're like, how am I supposed to feel more empowered right now, right? But stay with me, okay? Remember when we did that meditation with our bodies a few minutes ago, and we went into the place where we felt the contraction, and perhaps that's where we also felt the most lifted and the most freed up. Well, those barriers that you just wrote down, they're the same. They're the same key to your freedom. They are the stepping stones to your freedom, to your future goal. In our past, in our culture, we've been taught that they're in the way, they need to be exiled and get rid of them at all costs, right? But those are our keys. So if you wrote down the barrier of, self-confidence or resources, those are the keys to your freedom, okay? Remember also before how I asked you to find the deeper layer of whatever that thing that you were feeling? That's also key here. So if it was resources, well, tapping into that's going to look different than just, calling in more money. That might look like scarcity, working with your scarcity mentalities. Maybe it's a need for more openness to abundance. But whatever that thing was, that barrier that's in your way, is where your heart focus and your body focus can go. And you can feel a lot of healing and a lot of freedom. And the more we tune into that and start healing that and start taking focus to that, journaling about it, giving it space to talk, the more that our bodies open up and the more that creativity flows and the more courage we find. When we're in our minds trying to plan and organize and control, we're constricted, okay? And when we actually take the time to hone in on that thing that's holding us back, that thing that's in the way, maybe it's fear. Is it fear of taking a leap? Is it fear of what other people might think? If we can take that and be with that, a lot will free up. We're not so constricted. So as we did earlier in our bodies, I want you to do that now on your own with this barrier that you found. So we have where we are and where we're going, and we have what's in the way, what's between where we are and where we're going. And I want us to just take a minute, and you can close your eyes or you can just write, whatever is easier for you. And I want you to be in your body with that space of what's in the way. Is it fear of what others will say or think? Is it scared of not having enough? Is it scared of messing up? So close your eyes or write or whatever helps it flow for you, and just be with that. How does that feel? A lot of emotions might be coming up, or you might have already arrived at kind of a spot that makes sense for you. And like I said, there's no wrong or right way to do this. But I hope you've had an opportunity to get a peek into your body, a peek into the insides. You see, your body and your soul hold a key to your greatest desires and dreams. It's all in there, you know? A lot of the ways we've been taught to live and exist in the world keep us imprisoned. We've been keeping these parts of ourselves imprisoned, these fears. We've made no space for them. But I hope you've had a glimpse into seeing that perhaps these things that we've been keeping captive inside of us are the key to our greatest dreams and our freedom. So my work is about this. It's about being with what is and letting it be there. And we hear that a lot. You know, we've been taught to tell our kids these things. Feel your feelings, right? But I hope today this has gone a step farther for you, that you've seen firsthand the wisdom that your physical body possesses, the spirit within you that lives in you, is so powerful. When we're able to put our minds and our stories and our narratives aside, our body knows how to do the work. It's better than any doctor we could ever see. Our bodies know the wisdom. They know the remedy to whatever is going on. If we can take the time to be with it and see it and sit with it compassionately and lovingly, we don't need to bully it away, right? I know I so often have done that in the past. Anger comes up and there's no space for it. Go away. Push, push, push. The feelings are okay. We're responsible for how we handle them and how we treat other people. Yes. But in a safe place in our bodies, oh, you are allowed to experience it. We've been pushing and imprisoning ourselves, and there's so much power to opening up and freeing ourselves. And so often, in that little prison inside of us lies the key to our greatest dreams, our goals, our soul's desire, whatever you want to call it. It might not be simple for you. I'm not trying to simplify anyone's journey, but I hope that you have had a glimpse of this part of you that maybe was silenced for a long time. And again, whatever emotion that's left you with is okay. If you're scared, I want you to keep coming back to that safe spot within you. If it brings up a lot of fears of obstacles, then you should sit with this a little bit longer. When we go away from here and moving forward in the days, a really easy thing you can do is journal. Is journal about how your body feels. Maybe it's on your computer and you can delete it afterward. Maybe it's on a piece of paper and you can throw it away after. Just let it out with freedom and let yourself breathe. Let your inward self breathe. The more we do that and the more we meet ourselves without ruminating, we don't need to ruminate. That's not helpful. That's up here. But when we come back down to the body and let our body process, that is where the work is. That is where the healing is. And that is where your self-power is. So I thank you for being with me today. And I will hold space for questions. You can send them to me. You can ask them to me. You can write them down. You can come up to me in person. And I would love to hear how this resonated for everyone. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope this has just been a seed to what the world could be for you. And if this has resonated, this is my work, and I would love to work with you. So please reach out, and we can see if that would be something that you'd like to do. Regardless if you want to work with me, I wish you well, I wish you happiness, and I wish for that 6 to 12 month goal, I wish that for you. So thank you so much for being with me today and holding space and hearing me out and trusting me and trusting your body. And yes, thank you. Take care.